Did you know that even drinking in moderation can increase your risk of heart disease, heart rhythm issues, and cancer? Most people drink alcohol without realizing how it affects nearly every structure in their body. And the surprising part is that many of these risks happen with less than one standard drink per day. Today, we're going to clear up 5 common myths about alcohol. After watching this video, you'll have a much better understanding of how alcohol can impact your health, and you'll be more empowered to make more informed decisions. Stay tuned. Hey guys, I'm Ben, and thank you so much for tuning in. If you want more health-related content, please like and subscribe. So today I really wanted to clear up myths about alcohol so that you can better understand what it's doing to your body. And just to be clear, I'm purely talking about health here. This isn't about judging people who drink or demonizing alcohol itself. The goal is simply to help you understand the risks that often go unnoticed or unmentioned with alcohol. A lot of people drink alcohol without thinking of the long-term effects, and in some cases people believe that alcohol is actually good for their health. So let's start with this and probably the biggest misconception about alcohol. Now this one's almost common knowledge at this point, but it's really never been proven. There have been studies showing that people who drink red wine daily have lower rates of heart disease. And initially this made sense. There is a compound called resveratrol, which has been linked in animal and lab studies to lower cardiovascular risk. And in theory, this could help lower cardiovascular risk. However, the amount of resveratrol in wine is really low. And studies linking red wine in people with better heart health are only observational studies. Researchers are basically looking for patterns in different populations. It's not really differentiating between causation and correlation. This has actually led the American Heart Association to state that caution should be advised when interpreting these studies. There's no major heart organizations that recommend wine for heart health. They actually recommend limiting it. This is due to the fact that it is associated with higher risk of multiple cardiac conditions, things like cardiomyopathy, irregular heart rhythms, and hypertension. So why do we hear that 1 to 2 glasses of red wine is good for your heart? It's very likely influenced by something called healthy user bias. This is basically saying that it's not red wine that's making people heart healthy, it's that people who drink red wine are healthy. People who drink red wine are usually higher socioeconomic status, they're more educated, they exercise regularly, and they go to the doctor more for preventative health. It's because they do these things that they're healthier and not the other way around. A great case in point for this is with the blue zones. The blue zones are the areas in the world where people live the longest and the healthiest. And in many of these areas, they drink red wine, but they also move daily, eat mostly plant-based whole foods, and they do a lot of other things to stay healthy. So if you're gonna drink wine, do it for the taste, the social connection, or the enjoyment, not for your health. There's no good evidence that it meaningfully protects your heart, and even if there were a small benefit, it would likely just be minimal. And as we'll get into later, alcohol carries real risk, including cancer and heart rhythm issues, even at low levels, which outweigh any potential upside. This is also not true. As I discussed in my video on alcohol and cancer risk, even 1 to 2 drinks per day increases your risk of cancer. The World Health Organization states that there is no safe level of alcohol consumption. Alcohol risk starts with the first drink. Alcohol is linked with 7 different types of cancer, including breast cancer, and roughly 1 in 10 alcohol-related cancers occur in people who drink just 1 to 2 drinks per day. So moderation still carries risk even at low levels. Most people know that alcohol can damage the liver, but chronic alcohol use affects nearly every tissue in your body. Alcohol is a small molecule that can pass throughout the body and cross both water-based and fat-based barriers. And because of that, it distributes rapidly and reaches almost every organ system. It's like if there was a traffic jam, alcohol could just speed right past every stopped car. This is why there's so many complications that can occur with excessive and chronic use, pancreatitis, gastrointestinal bleeding, and a lot of the other ones that I've mentioned before. And this is why alcohol is often referred to as a whole body drug. Over time, it contributes to systemic inflammation, oxidative stress, impaired DNA repair, and cellular dysfunction. And this is why studies using quantitative MRIs have shown that alcohol consumption is associated with structural changes across multiple organ systems. It shows decreased brain volume, increased heart mass, increased liver fat, even with the usual range of alcohol drinking in the general population. You might be thinking, look, I only have 2 beers a day, I'm fine. But what size are those beers? What percentage alcohol content are they? How are they poured? This is often something people don't think about. A standard unit of alcohol is often different than what we would consider 1 drink. So a standard drink is 12 ounces of beer at 5% alcohol, 5 ounces of wine at 12% alcohol, or 1.5 ounces of liquor at 40%. In real life though, a drink of alcohol is much different. Craft beers can be 7 to 9% alcohol content, which is roughly 1.5 to 2 drinks. Home wine pours are often 1.5 drinks, and restaurant cocktails may contain 2 to 3 shots. And it's really easy to do this because oftentimes when people are drinking, they're not thinking of how many ounces a drink is or what percent alcohol content is in a drink. They're just out with their friends and relaxing. So when someone thinks they're having 2 drinks, their body might actually be processing 4 or more drinks. And it's not just that our drinks are often bigger or stronger than we think. We also tend to underestimate how much we actually drink. Surveys show that alcohol intake is underreported by 20 to 50%. When researchers compare self-reported drinking to alcohol sales data, consumption is consistently underreported by about 50% for beer, nearly 40% for wine, and over 60% for spirits. So pay attention not only to how many drinks you have, but how big they really are. If most people get hungover, they sort of shrug, pound a Gatorade, and just think that they're dehydrated. And dehydration is definitely part of the picture, except a hangover is definitely not just due to being dehydrated. When you're hungover, your brain is actually experiencing something called neuroinflammation. After excessive alcohol exposure, oxidative stress disrupts important processes inside your cells, especially your mitochondria, which are responsible for producing energy. They're kind of like the power plants of your cells. When mitochondria don't function normally, your brain literally has less energy available to run its normal operations. Your body responds to this disruption by activating its internal repair crew, your immune system. And that wave of inflammatory signals creates what researchers call a sickness behavior, which is like fatigue, headache, nausea, and just feeling kind of mentally sluggish the next day. So a hangover isn't simply dehydration. It's this complex interplay of immune activation, neurotransmitter rebound, cellular stress, and some dehydration on top of all that. Gatorade can help a little bit, but it doesn't really address what's going on. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. And if you want more health-related content, please like and subscribe. Now, if you want to learn exactly how much alcohol consumption can lead to cancer, check out my next clip here. And I'll see you guys next time. Take care.